Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon. Today I'm going to be talking about patch 4.2 and the most important gameplay changes that you need to take note of in order to improve your gameplay. So the three main things that I'm going to talk about today that are most affected by the changes are how early game champions are going to be much stronger in this patch, split pushers are going to be much stronger in this patch, and champions that build either crit or mana immune. So AD casters build mana immune and obviously crit champions build crit. So yeah, let's get right into the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so this gameplay is just going to be a bit of background gameplay while I talk about the biggest changes to the patch. So starting off, Dragon and Baron spawn faster and they're easier to kill. Dragons spawn every 4 minutes and 30 seconds. So the first one spawns at 5 minutes, and then after that they spawn 4 minutes and 30 seconds after that. And they have 1,000 less health, making this much easier to kill. Baron spawns at 12 minutes instead of 13 minutes and has 3,000 less health. So the fact that both of these objectives are easier to kill means that they're obviously going to be killed much faster, meaning you want to be on them as fast as possible because it's going to be easier to burst them down. So champions who can just one-shot objectives like Kha'Zix and Rengar are going to be very strong. And it's also going to make split pushers strong because you're going to be able to take Baron much faster while you're distracting the enemy on the opposite side of the map. Baron lasts even after you die, so again, this is a big buff to split pushers. Because even if a split pusher ends up dying, distracting the team, and your team gets Baron on the other side of the map while you're distracting people, like here, obviously this was Dragon in this case, but it's a similar type of thing. The Baron persisting means that you can still get value out of it once you respawn, and your team will obviously have Baron, and trading your life for that as a split pusher is very valuable. Then also, turrets are easier to kill. Again, another buff to split pushers. Turrets are easier to kill. The turret, besides the first one, they have like 500 less health. And the Nexus has 500 less health as well, so that's even easier to kill. Now the Nexus does get a shield 20 seconds after you kill your first inhibitor, and it gets a 3,500 extra health shield, so you're not able to backdoor as effectively, which is going to make it more useful to buy teleport in a lot of situations, due to the fact that now you'll want to be trying to get an inhib and then teleporting to help your team afterwards, or getting an inhib, placing a ward, and then teleporting it back to that and backdooring later. And then kills give you less gold and you have less passive gold. So this again is actually another buff to split pushers because they want to get their gold from farming side lanes and from getting gold from turrets rather than kills. So they're not as focused on kills, so they're able to get gold from side lanes and still get a big gold lead even if they don't need a ton of kills. For example, in this game, I'm very, very strong in this game despite being 3-3-2. And that's a very important thing, and you see here again we get the Baron while I'm on the side lane. It's a very effective strategy. So yeah, that kind of brings me into my first point, which is split pushing is very, very strong in this patch. So doing stuff like I do in this game is going to end up winning us this game later on, just due to the split pushing. I'm going to kind of fast forward here and show you guys what ends up happening. So we end up getting an inhib there. You see split pushing. I almost end the game here, but we don't. Then it kind of goes into a bit of a fiesta. I get the other inhib here, as you can see. I try to end the game, doesn't quite work out. It ends up turning into kind of a fiesta, but you can just see I'm taking so many side lane turrets and so much everything that no matter how many times we die, it doesn't matter because we just have we have so many inhibs. Again, we get to 195, but we're just not able to win. And then here you can see this insane play. Our base is about to die. I TP back here to the ward, like I was saying, very important to have TP and be placing wards like that. Going to be very important to do that type of stuff on this patch. And then we end up ending the game here. Really crazy game there, but again, that just shows like how strong split pushers are because of how fast your team can take things like Baron. And even if you die on the side lane, you're able to still utilize that Baron afterwards and just get a lot of gold on the side lanes due to the fact that kills aren't as valuable and objectives die really fast. So overall, yeah, just biggest things to kind of note, or at least what I wanted to talk about in this first section, is just how important split pushing is on this new patch. Alright, so what I would next want to talk about is some of the champions that became the strongest on this patch, and that's really going to be two different types of champions. That's going to be champions who use mana immune and champions who use crit. First, I'll talk about the mana immune champions. So what they changed to mana immune is now mana immune does it procs off of abilities, so your abilities will do more damage, and it will consume your mana. Basically, that's how it's going to work. So yeah, any champions who are AD champions who use abilities a lot, such as Jace, such as Varus, Ezreal, Corki, those champions all got big buffs because they're now able to utilize mana immune super well. So that's something important to keep in mind, is that those are some of the best champions on this patch right now. I've been using a lot of Jace, of course. Mana immune on him feels very, very strong. And then the other buff is crit champions. So Immortal Shield Bow Phantom Dancer are both really strong items right now, and they're really making a lot of ADCs extremely strong and a lot of crit champions in general. So Yone and Yasuo are two very, very strong champions now in the mid lane. You can even play Yone in jungle. Yone even in top lane is pretty good. So those two crit champions are extremely strong right now. And then additionally, a lot of the ADCs, Kai'Sa specifically got a change to her passive where now she gets an evolve just based on just getting any item. So once she completes an item, she gets an evolve, and that makes her super strong right now, probably the best ADC on this patch. And then any champions that are hyper carry champions that build a lot of crit, that are going to build shield bows, stuff like Jinx, like Vayne, like Tristana, are all very, very strong. So just keeping in mind, so I would say crit champions and Manamune building champions are really good on this patch, and definitely I would try them out if I were you guys. Okay, and then the next important change is going to be that early game champions are much more effective on this patch. The reason for that is dragons spawn faster, that encourages more fighting. Baron spawns earlier, once again encouraging more fighting earlier on in the game. Just all of these things are really causing the game to be much faster paced, because there's almost always an objective to fight over. There's stuff going on at like all points in the game. Turrets are easier to kill, meaning you can snowball games faster. There's just a lot of stuff that really makes early game champions much more effective. So it's definitely very important to keep in mind. Champions like Jace, like Renekton and Fiora in the top lane. Champions like Lee Sin in the jungle. The one kind of exception to this is bot lane. I would still say that a lot of scaling champs in bot lane are very, very strong just due to the new items. So I would still recommend going champions like Kai'Sa, who was pretty late game, Jinx, pretty late game Tristana, but stuff like Samira, like Draven, like Jhin are all very strong in this patch as well. So yeah, I mean, those champions as well in the early game are very effective. So just overall, because there's more fighting going on, playing champions that are better in skirmishes and better in early game is very, very good on this new patch. Alright guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for not uploading last week. I was just kind of busy. I've been quite busy with school and everything, but school's almost over and I'll be able to upload weekly, if not even more than weekly, maybe twice or 3 times a week once summer starts, which is in a couple weeks for me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.